heat. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't yet, and also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at RealSethFowler. But before we jump into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to my second channel, my tech channel, which is just called Seth. I actually just unboxed the brand new Xbox Series X this morning, so if you guys would like to check that video out, there will be a link in the top of the description below. Not only that, but in the next week or so, I'm actually going to be giving away either a PS5 digital edition or an Xbox Series X. So if you'd like to figure out how you could win one of those consoles for yourself, make sure to subscribe to that channel because that's where I'm announcing all the giveaway information. Again, links in the description below, so make sure to check it out. I actually had to pull myself away from Assassin's Creed in order to film this video, so hopefully this video turns out well because I'd really like to be playing Assassin's Creed right now. But without further ado, let's jump right into Weekly Heat. So starting off the stories for today, it looks like we finally have a release date for the J Balvin Air Jordan 1s. I've talked about this shoe a couple times, and usually when I talk about it, I don't really have good things to say, and that's mainly because this shoe reminds me of what I see when I'm about to get a migraine. You know, I don't know if you guys get migraines, but I start to see like these crazy like flashing colors that kind of go in this weird arc shape. It's weird. Look it up online. It's like a really weird situation, but this shoe reminds me exactly of that, and it sucks because I just can't look at the shoe without thinking about getting a migraine. As much as I think it's an interesting take on the Air Jordan 1, it's not a shoe that I would ever really want to grab or even want to wear. I might try and pick up this shoe for a review, but for me, that's about all I want it for. That's not to say it's not a huge accomplishment for J Balvin to have his own Air Jordan sneaker. I think that's super cool. Congrats to him. However, it's not something that I really want personally. However, I do know that there are a lot of people out there who really want to grab this shoe, and for those people, you're in luck because the shoe should be coming out in the next couple weeks. According to houseofheat.co, if you're looking to grab a pair of these shoes for yourself, you should be able to pick them up on December 4th. Next up, it looks like Adidas and Pharrell are continuing to release monochromatic Pharrell Human Race NMDs, and it looks like we have a new colorway that should be coming out in the near future, the green colorway. Like a lot of the recent Pharrell Human Race NMDs that came in different shades of the same color, this shoe is pretty much no different. However, the text on the upper comes in a contrasting white rather than a shade of green. The text on the upper seems to come in Vietnamese, which is not a language that we've seen on Pharrell's before, so I think it's a really cool addition. The upper of the shoe seems to come in a very sort of sea green with a different kind of knit material on the upper. I don't think it's prime knit, I don't think it's a standard textile, I'm not sure exactly what it is. That same green color from the upper seems to spill over onto the Boost midsole and the outsole as well. Honestly, it's one of the cleaner monochromatic Pharrell Human Race NMDs, and while I don't love the black sock liner, it seems to fit in better on this shoe than some of the other colorways. And if you're trying to grab a pair of these green Pharrells for yourself, they should be releasing on December 23rd. Next up, it looks like Adidas and Beyonce are collaborating once again on a pair of Ultra Boosts. This time around, this Ivy Park Ultra Boost comes in a much more understated look and features an almost entirely black makeup except for the bright neon green accent on the outsole. In addition to that, the shoe seems to feature a black leather midfoot cage, which I don't believe was on the previous pairs, and not only that, it also features a different knit pattern than the previous Ivy Park Ultra Boosts. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the shoes definitely have a very Dark Knight feel, and honestly, that might have been what Beyonce was going for. It's not a bad look, but personally, I still think I prefer the maroon pair that dropped first. I'd be willing to bet that just like all the other Ivy Park Ultra Boost sneakers, this shoe will only drop in women's sizing, and as of right now, there is no official release date. So you know how a couple weeks ago I was asking for new Yeezy 700 V1 colorways, and also how I'd been asking for bright blue Yeezys? Well, it seems like Adidas and Yeezy are giving us one of those pairs, but not in the way that I would expect. Based on a mock-up by Yeezy Mafia, it looks like we're getting a brand new Yeezy 700 V1 color called the Bright Blue. And that name is extremely fitting because this shoe comes in a very bright blue upper. So the shoe has a very interesting split color scheme. The upper of the shoe comes in tonal blues, and the midsole and outsole of the shoe come in bright oranges. It kind of looks like a sunset on the ocean except flipped. So the sun's on the bottom and the ocean's on the top. Maybe it's the sunset in Australia. I don't know. It's a weird looking sneaker. Based on the rendering, it seems like there are a lot of panels on this shoe that were taken directly from the Yeezy 700 V1 Wave Runner. However, some of the gray colors on the shoe were switched out for blues and oranges. It's really a weird look, but I'm not against it. Now, would I actually wear this shoe? Probably not. It's not exactly my thing, but I know a lot of people out there are excited for it just because it's a Yeezy 700 V1. Right now, we only have a photoshopped rendering of the shoe, which means that it's probably still a few months out, but it seems like this shoe could release sometime in early 2021. In some great news for Kobe fans and Kobe sneakerheads alike, it looks like the Kobe 6 Orange County is finally retroing in 2021. Apparently, this shoe is retroing for the 10th anniversary of the Orange County colorway, and this shoe should look almost identical to the original pair. I've always personally loved the Kobe 6, and that's mainly because it's had so many great colorways, and I think the Orange County colorway of the Kobe 6 is really one of my favorite. Of course, the Retro will feature the signature Kobe 6 snakeskin texture on the upper, as well as the tonal cloud-like pattern on the upper, which is everyone's favorite part of this colorway. In addition to that, you've got bright yellow accents on the tongue and on the sock liner, as well as mint green accents on the Nike swoosh and on the heel counter. Now, one thing I'm not 100% clear on with this shoe is whether this sneaker will be a Protro or a standard pair. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do now that Kobe's passed away and he isn't able to actually oversee the makeup of these shoes, but we'll have to just wait and see. I'm personally hoping for a Protro, but I have no idea what's actually going to happen. Unfortunately, there is some good news and some bad news with this release. The good news is that it's actually coming out. The bad news is you're probably going to have to wait until fall 2021 to actually pick up a pair for yourself. Next up, we've got some leaked images of what could be an upcoming Yeezy 350 V2 colorway. The 350 pictured comes in a bone and aqua colorway, and to be honest with you, looks a lot like the Sesame 350 V2s. The main difference, however, is that the Boost midsole seems to come in sort of a light turquoise color, and you've also got a dark navy contrast stitch in the center of the shoe. I know I hate on Yeezys that look very similar to other Yeezys, but this colorway is kind of fire. I don't know why I like it so much. Maybe it's the fact that it has a little bit of like mint on the midsole. I kind of like that for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I kind of want to grab this shoe. Oh, and also in some shameless self-promotion, that shoe would actually go really well with the brand new Apothecary Garrison collaboration socks, also dropping in the bone colorway. These socks are releasing this Friday, Friday the 13th at 12 p.m. Eastern time, and are our second official collaboration. My favorite part of the sock is actually the reflective or 3M stitching at the top on Garrison's logo. I also love Apothecary across the center in red, and then you've also got Garrison Apothecary Philadelphia Fall Winter 2020 on the midfoot of the sock. And if you don't like the bone colorway, we also have a black colorway as well. Both colorways of this sock will be releasing on apothecary.com and garrison.com. We also increased the stock of these pairs too, so everyone who wants a pair of these actually can have a chance to grab one for themselves. So make sure to follow Apothecary and Garrison Studio on Instagram to learn more information about how you can grab these pairs for yourself. In business news, which is not a segment I usually have on this channel, it looks like VF Corporation has actually acquired Supreme for $2.1 billion. If you're not familiar with VF Corporation, they own companies like Vans, North Face, and Timberland. In fact, when I worked for Vans, VF Corporation was who paid my bills. And it kind of makes a lot of sense because all three of those brands Supreme has collaborated with recently, and they continue to do collaborations with those brands, and I think being acquired by the company that owns them makes those collaborations even easier. To be fair, I can definitely see how a lot of Supreme heads might feel like this is Supreme selling out. At its core, Supreme is a skateboarding brand, so it makes sense that they've been bought by VF Outdoor, who also owns Vans, who is also a skateboarding company. Well, I guess Vans is a shoe company, but it's very, very deep in the skateboarding world. And you also just gotta think about the amount that they paid for Supreme as well, $2.1 billion. That's a huge amount of money for a skateboarding brand. While you as a consumer or a Supreme hypebeast might not be too happy about this acquisition, it honestly shouldn't affect you too much, and it might actually make Supreme better because now they have more factories to work with and a better supply chain. However, only time will tell whether this acquisition was a good call on VF's part. It makes sense, I understand why they did it, but some hypebeasts are kind of feeling like Supreme is kind of already past it, so it's possible that maybe Supreme will start going downhill from here. Who knows? At the same time though, I wouldn't be surprised if Supreme was actually happy that hypebeasts stopped buying their clothing because they never made the clothing for hypebeasts, they made it for skateboarders. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see, but I'm excited to see the direction that Supreme takes. So apparently replica factories in China are already making fakes of the Travis Scott Nike Dunk PlayStations that we saw from that Travis Scott PlayStation 5 commercial. These images from Instagram account Soul Debrief show a bunch of fake sneakers being made at a factory in China that resemble the Travis Scott Nike Dunk Low PlayStations. However, they come in gray and black, just like in the black and white video, and we still don't know if the shoes are actually gray and black or if they're a different color scheme altogether. It's genuinely nuts how quickly these shoes turn around fakes, even just based on images that they saw in a video that was grainy and pixelated. While it's still possible that these Travis Scott Nike Dunk Low PlayStations might actually be a gray and black sneaker, I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up being more of a tan and a cream colorway because that's usually what it goes for. And it's also possible that these shoes won't even ever release and they're just friends and family. I have no idea. There's still so little information known about these shoes, and it's crazy to me that these factories are already making fakes. But hey, that's just the depressing world of replica sneakers for you, and it's also a good reminder to always make sure that you're buying sneakers from legitimate sources. Next up, it looks like Off-White and Nike are working on 2 more Nike Dunk Low collaborations. Based on renders from Pirates, it looks like the 2 colorways that are dropping are a black and white colorway and a black and orange colorway. However, I think it's important to note that these colorways are just based on color names and not actually seeing the shoe in person. So it's very possible that these colorways may look nothing like the actual shoes that release. But we can hope, because both of these colorways are fire, and in my opinion are the best out of all the Off-White Nike Dunks to release. Based on these renders, the first colorway comes in a white and black upper and a pretty standard color block, as well as a black midsole and a gray outsole. And it looks like the accent color on the shoe will not only be the little orange tab at the end of the Nike swoosh, but will also be the outer laces that come in orange. The second colorway seems to come in primarily black, featuring an all black upper, black midsole, and a bright orange outsole. But again, you've got that hit of orange near the end of the Nike swoosh, as well as the orange outer laces. If I had to pick one of these two colorways to grab, I would definitely pick the first colorway just because I love that color blocking, but I'd be happy with either. This leak is still super early, so it's possible that the colorways will look nothing like this, and it's also possible that these colorways might not even end up releasing. But if they do end up releasing, it's reported that they will be dropping sometime in the fall of 2021. But that pretty much wraps up the video for today. Now, I would love to know your thoughts on all of the stories that we talked about in today's video, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to check out my unboxing of the brand new Xbox Series X on my second channel. There's a link in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to that channel, because I will be giving away either a PS5 digital edition or an Xbox Series X. So make sure to subscribe to find out how you can win. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.